I'm Rudi Pinkowski, and I welcome all of you to view this garden. This is my son's garden that he moved in about 22 years ago, and it's a waterfront property, and I thought, wow, this is an opportunity to put in a Mediterranean-style garden, simply because palms and water just go together so nicely. And it's not only palms, we have many subtropical trees that have done so well here. And also, this is the entrance area, the front area. I have palms that are, when I planted them, they were about 4 feet high. Now they're 24, 25 feet high. I was told by my tree guy. And so it's exposed to a lot of people. I had a lot of positive compliments. I had a lot of people taking pictures of these palms. It was something so new when we did this. Now it's more common. You see them in many places nowadays. And and enjoy the tour of the garden. It has been a lot of fun to do the landscaping here. It was kind of a challenge for me to do, because this style of landscaping is fairly new in British Columbia. And so welcome and enjoy. Yeah, the garden you will be seeing here today is about 22 years old. The house was 13 years old when my son bought it, and it had very little landscaping. It was kind of a standard look to it. And so we had developed this garden in the early stages to a pretty well unknown in the area, that we actually can have a garden with sort of a Mediterranean ambience. And the reason I'm promoting this idea, well, at that time I was the president of the Palm and Exotic Plant Society, and so my job was to make this sort of known to people. Yes, we can do this in Vancouver, and it's been going on a total of 35 years, and we have been very successful. Yeah, this area here is a stairway down. We can go directly to the beach. It's only like a few steps down and you're at the water level. So what we have here in this area here, again, we get a lot of palms, and we got a lot of yuccas here. We got a beautiful cordyline right here. That's been there for quite a few years. And in the background you see the bananas there. I don't do anything to them. I let them just grow, and they have had no problem with our climate here. What happens in the winter time, the leaves may die down, and you cut down whatever died down, and then they come out. Usually the trunks survive and all that. In no time they have 8-foot long leaves, and they make a very strong impression to give sort of the almost subtropical feel to the area here. And I always say palms, bananas, that kind of foliage that we're used to see on our vacations, the subtropical plants, Mediterranean style plants. I always think, especially palms, they should be considered a medical plant, because I know first time I saw palms was when we went to Hawaii, and we went after that every year, every winter. And I got on an airplane and saw the palms in Hawaii. I was totally relaxed immediately, I think. So that's what palms do to people. And so since we can grow palms in Vancouver, I encourage people, if you want to have an outdoor living garden, they don't take a lot of place. As they grow up, you only have the trunk, and foliage is higher up. It has a lot of open space, the garden, and it invites people out to, there's nothing nicer than be on a lounge under a palm tree. Design your house from the inside out. And here's a dining room right to the left of me here. And a lot of windows, big windows in this house. And when you look south, you look at Bragg Inlet, the ocean. And these plants, as you can tell, are not really blocking a lot of views. And palm, there's always an old saying, palm trees are the only trees in the world that don't block views. They enhance views. I started when I first went to Hawaii, how people try to wiggle in some palm fronds in the sunset picture. So there's something to that certainly. And you can see it right in the picture here. The view is still there. The ocean, the background. You see the mountains on Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands. But nothing is really totally blocked out. Behind me is sort of a sea of tropical, subtropical plants. We have palm trees, we got yuccas there, we got cordyceps there. Everything is in view, and you still see the ocean. So it's something that there's no end to the imagination, but can be created with subtropical plants. And we are so fortunate and so lucky living in this part of Canada that we actually can do it. And please always think that you get the same square footage outside your house as you have inside. Make it usable, make it a living space. Okay, this area here, you have the ocean right in front of you, and these tropical, subtropical plants really add a definition to the view. They're not really view blocking type plants. They're not big bushy plants. That's why we prefer these architectural type Mediterranean style plants. Here's a yucca that has grown to a very, very large size. It's probably, I would say, at least 10, 12 feet tall. And what kind of work does it need? I only stake it up with rebar, only for the winter time, because they will capture snow the way the foliage is grown, and it could break off because of the weight then. But this wouldn't happen every year, just once in a while, so that's what I do to get a height like this. It will almost grow into a small tree actually. So I have quite a few of this species in here, and we got palms. We got ginger down here in the corner. I have ginger. Beautiful, beautiful flowers on the ginger. Totally hardy. It's like a perennial. It will freeze back in the winter time. Die back, not freeze back, but die back in the winter time, and then come back out in spring. Very little work. Just to, in the spring you got to clean it all out and come back. Yeah, here on the way down to the ocean, we have a cordyceps here. It has 5 trunks, and it's what happened. I should probably mention this. It was planted in 2008, and it was about 5 foot high, 4 or 5 foot high, one trunk, and it froze right down to the ground in 2008. And we had an extremely, extremely cold winter. I had one in my garden that never came back and never saw life again. But in this area here being milder, it came back again with 5 trunks. And now it's probably, I would say, nearly 10 feet high. And it's quite a show. So I think as they get older, they probably get a little harder here. But this one here probably for good. It's okay. Yeah. Also, a lot of people that are getting into the Mediterranean landscaping nowadays already have a garden, and they may have some beautiful rhododendrons in there. Don't take them out. They have a very architectural structure actually. If you see on the bottom the twisty branches here, and going often horizontal and twisting and turning around. The lower branches often die off anyway, but if they don't, I help along a little bit. And so the canopy. This is the typical growth of tropical plants. They have a canopy effect. They don't have very tall, spiky plants on top. That's gives it sort of this tropical look. And rhododendrons actually are well suited. So don't take all your rhododendrons out. They really, really fit in. You got horizontal branches going right now, right in front of a palm tree, and they fit in. So I encourage to keep your rhodos. On the way down to the ocean here, we have a lot of the sort of subtropical landscaping here. We got choice alternata, that is the Mexican mock orange right here. Beautiful white flowers, beautiful scented as well. Here's one species, and we have another species right here. So I haven't proved actually. I did it so far myself always, but it is I didn't put too much work. And right in front of me, higher up, is a banana that doesn't hardly need any maintenance. In spring, you only cut back whatever died back, maybe only the foliage in most cases. And to my left here, I have a, a beautiful cordyline indivisa. I think that's the only one in Vancouver. I bought it at one time in a flower store, actually, a savory flower store. Didn't know what it was at that time, many years ago. It is a cordyline variety, indivisa, and it has this beautiful, beautiful large foliage, and yeah, I just love it. I've not seen them in any nurseries yet, so I hope as we carry on, and we're talking to the nursery people also here to bring plants in that actually we can grow here, and they may be tropical, subtropical, desert type plants. So we are so lucky living in Vancouver here, we can grow such a large variety of plants. Again, these plants are all well suited for an outdoor living garden. They don't block views, they don't overpower you in size, and this architectural value is inspiring. Right by the ocean, and a lot of people go for walks here along the ocean. And so this garden having a subtropical look, we had so many people just hang out here and have their picnic here. They feel like they're on vacation. As you can see behind me, we got palms, we got yuccas, we got cordylines, we got so many species of plants that just love it here. This is the mildest area. It's right by the ocean. In the winter time, that is. So I started sort of experimental with the camera ups by the ocean and all that, just to figure out and find out if they will enjoy it here and grow here. And to my surprise, yes, got a very, very lucky. We have a lot of beautiful species. This area by the ocean had very little landscaping. We had two large trees here, and the rest was hardly anything. Well, there were big pines, pine trees a bit higher up, and they were quite tall. They were about already 50 feet high. So from the deck, from the barbecue area and the deck area on top, you could not see any water at all. There was a whole row of these large pines, so those were all taken out. The view was very important to my son and his family, so we definitely had to re-landscape this area altogether. There were no smaller plants or interesting plants, just a row of large pines. And so now we have a whole variety of subtropical plants, some different species of palms. We have also yuccas, ganara. And for fun, I planted a eucalyptus in this area here, and I thought, again, being the mild area, and also we have less rainfall by the ocean here than where I live at a 900-foot elevation. And so this has done, it's been here for, I don't know, 7-8 years now. It's done really, really well. In fact, we did take some branches off, and so it's just a beautiful plant, and often I've seen people stop and take pictures of it. They can't believe you can grow all these exotics here. We always add some planters for the summer season, like you see right here. So we have beautiful color right through the summer all the time. And we're just kind of moving indoors into the pool room and bringing back out in spring again. And when I said this is a garden for outdoor living, we also have a bed out here too. So it's not only for outdoor living, it's even for outdoor sleeping. I also add some perennial plants to it. They more look like shrubs, but they are perennials. They die back in the winter time. They come back and grow to 5 feet in height, and they have beautiful tropical flowers. It is actually hibiscus variety, which are considered often tropical plants, but the moschuti will grow in our climate. They will come back every spring and are full of flowers. You can buy different varieties from white and pink and red and so on. And my granddaughter, my son's daughter, her birthday is in August. That's exactly when it flowers, so I planted one for her. And I put a little sign there that every year it will flower for her on her birthday. Or living by the ocean, obviously you have so many different opportunities. Like here's a surfboard here that or a paddleboard, I guess it is, that the family uses, have lots of fun with it. And above me you can see a yucca rostrata way up on the balcony. Even the balconies are landscaped. So you step out in your balcony, you're out there in your garden. You look through the window from any place in the house, you're actually in the garden. You're surrounded by the garden. So that was sort of the main program to landscape this garden in this particular location. Yeah, one of the highlights in this garden is this cactus right beside me here. I planted it as a joke. I had this camera, there's a palm anyway, and then I have a yucca rostrata on the other side, which is a desert plant. So I thought I'd plant a cactus there for a joke. It was about, I don't know, maybe 10 inches high or 15 inches high as well. It will last all summer. In the winter it will it will die. But now it's several years back, probably 10 years or more. It has never died. I've never protected it. I've never done anything to it. And look at the height right now. It's just amazing. I was totally shocked. I know it's a cactus. I don't have the species of this particular cactus because I didn't or expected that to survive our winters. It's cold and we have more rain, obviously, than its native habitat. But has done so well, and this is a bit of a conversation piece. This is the entrance to the property, facing the road. Here's the entrance, cars park here and so on. We landscape this too, and this area here I landscaped with tree ferns, Dixonia and Arctica. These are fairly hardy ferns. I still protect them a little bit in the winter time, but I cut all the fronds off, but there were winters I didn't do it and they survived anyway, but they're getting so tall and they're very slow growers. They grow less than 2 inches a year, so you don't want to ever lose them. So now we're starting to kind of protect the trunk. But the foliage is taken off, and it's like our native ferns. They would die by the spring, late spring anyway, as new foliage comes out, so there's no loss of anything. But they're, I would say, even more exotic than palms. They just look so beautiful. The foliage is so rich, and I base planted it with large leaf foliage, so it gives it a real deep tropical look. This is the front area here along the road. This is actually district land here. It was not landscaped at all. It was a car park and neighborhood, so kind of a little beach access area here. So people park here all the time and so on. They still can park here, but I landscaped this area with the intention to let people know that we can do subtropical gardening in Vancouver. I was at that time the president of the Palm and Exotic Plant Society, and I wanted to promote the idea. So in the front area we planted palms years and years ago. Some of them are reaching 25 feet now in height. And we have a lot of yuccas. We also have rhododendrons and azaleas and plants that people are familiar with. Even the very exotic yucca rostrata, I have one in here. They like really full sun, but I'm surprised it does well here too. It just likes to be surrounded by other exotic plants. So this is an area that had a lot of attention. People stopped often, asked me about these plants, that we can grow them here. And yes, they've been here for years and years, over 20 years, some of them now. And I think there was a good promotion for letting people know, yes, landscaping is always a changing type of happening that you know, there's nothing wrong with other garden styles, but this is just another option that we have developed for people to do. And mainly to have, if you want an indoor-outdoor garden, this is well suited for that kind of landscape. Since we can grow palms in Vancouver, I encourage people, if you want to have an outdoor living garden, they don't take a lot of place. As they grow up, you only have the trunk, and foliage is higher up. It has a lot of open space, the garden, and it invites people out to, there's nothing nicer than be on a lounge under a palm tree.